Hello everybody, I'm Hannah and welcome to Bookshelvish. Today we're going to be talking about some of my all-time favorite reads. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. There's no real rhyme or reason to these picks. This is not an exhaustive list. I've read the books in here anywhere from when I was in high school to yesterday. I don't think there's anything on here from yesterday, but you get the idea. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the books, not a lot. There are quite a few books in this stack, so I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to take 5,000 years to get through the whole thing. So I'm just gonna jump into it. A couple of them are new releases, but a lot of them are not. So first up, we have The Book Thief. I feel like pretty much everybody has at least heard of this book, but it is young adult historical fiction about two teenagers in Germany during World War II. This book has a special place in my heart. It's the first book that I remember reading and absolutely sobbing over to the point where I threw the book across the room at the end. I was not okay. I have not reread it since high school, so I'm not really sure how it would still hold up. I never saw the movie. I heard it was not good. The narration is incredible in this book. There's just a lot about it that doesn't sound like it would be appealing, but really works, even if you're not usually a YA fan. So highly recommend The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Next, this is one of my soul books. This is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. If you have a good relationship with your dad, if you've ever experienced any kind of grief or loss, if you like books set in Alaska, this book is for you. Think that this book ticked a lot of boxes of things that are like my niche micro interests. And so obviously that really contributed to my enjoyment of the book, but on a much more real end, I think K.A. Tucker's writing is just so real and emotional and funny, and I just feel like she really brought the characters to life in such a great way. And so Calla and Jonah are just two of my favorites, live forever in my heart. All of the side characters in this are just so endearing. If you haven't read this, I think you should try it. Next, we've got Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is another one where I feel like if you were on any kind of book social media in 2023, you probably got flooded with this book. It is the first one in a duology. I like the second one, Ruthless Vows, as well. There's just something about this. It's not quite fantasy. It's sort of historical fiction almost in how it's set, but it's not in our world. So it just has World War I elements, but it's not really. And there's magic, but not really. And there's gods, but they don't play a huge role. Also YA, it's very sweet. I highly recommend this one. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was nothing like what I was expecting. So I think you would really enjoy this one. Next, we've got The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is one that I didn't think I was going to like. I hear paranormal romance and I go, not for me, but it was so sweet. This is another one that deals really well with grief, and I really appreciated the FMC's relationship with her family because I think it tackled kind of a lot more nuance than a lot of romance books do. And it almost felt like the romance took a secondary, a B plot line instead of an A plot line, which I liked. And I didn't think there was any way that this could resolve that I would like, but Ashley Poston proved me wrong. So I gave this one 5 stars. I am one of the few people, I think, that likes this better than The 7-Year Slip. Those are the only 2 Ashley Poston books I've read, although I have her others on my TBR. If you've been wondering if this might be a book for you, highly recommend reading it. This one's a bit of a blast from the past. This is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is a sci-fi dystopian novel. It's the first in a trilogy, and the premise is essentially that the main character, he's a young boy, I think he's 13, and when you turn 14 in this world, I could be getting the ages wrong, but he's approaching his birthday in which he becomes a man, and there's no women in this world, and all of the men can hear each other's thoughts, and so it's kind of alarming at times, but he has this dog named Manchi that is so cute, and you can hear the dog's thoughts because the dog is a boy. He reminded me kind of Doug from Up, but really cool story. So he, the day before his birthday, finds this UFO looking thing that's crashed out in the woods, and he finds a girl, and so this whole story is kind of his mission to try to return her to where she came from, kind of a coming of age story in a sense. So they made this one into a movie, which was supposed to premiere right in the middle of COVID, and so I think it kind of flopped, but it has a really interesting cast. It has the main guy is played by Tom Holland, and then they also had Daisy Ridley, and Nick Jonas is the villain. randomly. I think it would be a really cool movie. I want to watch it eventually, but I haven't yet. So that is The Knife of Never Letting Go. This is book 1 in the Chaos Walking trilogy. Next, I've got The Wren and the Holly Library. It is the perfect time to pick this one up because the sequel comes out in June. So this month by the time I'm posting this video. I feel like this got like some mixed reviews, but I was absolutely obsessed with it. K.A. Lin just has such a great way of writing worlds, and it's basically set in like a divided New York City where it's half monsters, all kinds of monsters, you know, vampires, werewolves, that kind of thing, loosely based on Celtic mythology, which is a really interesting angle. So if you're interested in this one, you should totally read it. It's also a super pretty book. I have the Fairy Loot edition as well, and that is of course gorgeous. And the female main character is a thief that kind of works for, like, Arabin is coming to my head from Throne of Glass. He's kind of like the master of the thieves. I wanted to say pimp, but that's like not actually in a thief it's fine. He's in charge of the thieves and she works for him. And so she's trying to steal something from this guy's house and he catches her and lots of things ensue. So the thing that I'm remembering is a huge spoiler, so I won't say what it is, but I think you should try this one if you like fantasy, and it's technically YA, I think, but it doesn't really read like that. So pick this one up. Next, I have a contemporary romance. This is Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer. I candidly don't like this cover at all, but the book, oh my goodness, it was in my top 5 of 2024. I don't think cried this much in a book since Book Thief. I am 28 years old now, so Book Thief I read when I was like 16, so that's a long time to go without crying that hard in between books. But this one got me. I can't give too much of a setup. It's about 2 teenagers. They go to the same school. They're not really friends. One of them's kind of dark, shady, tortured, and the other one lost her dad, both her parents, her mother. Her name's Juliet, his name's Declan, and they're writing each other letters. It's actually really similar, I think, in like tropes to Divine Rivals, despite the fact that this is contemporary and Divine Rivals is like magical realism, fantasy, historical fantasy, sort of. So I would read this one. If you've read any of Bridget Kemmerer's other books, Defy the Night, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, she has a very similar writing style in this one. It's just set in contemporary, and I think she transitions between the 2 genres really well. One of my all-time favorite romances, This Is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This was the first Abby Jimenez book I ever read, and it remains, I think, my second favorite after Just for the Summer. It was so good. Had so much sympathy for the female main character and kind of the tough relationship she has with her parents and balancing what they want for her versus what she wants for herself. I always am a sucker for a small town boy, and so her love interest Daniel really has always stuck with me. I really loved this one. I think if you are a fan of romance, if this one's not already on your shelf, go out and buy it immediately. Don't wait. The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali is a historical fiction set in Tehran, beginning of the Civil War there. It's also partially set much later with kind of the 2 characters coming back together in a sort of second chance scenario in the United States in like modern day. The writing is phenomenal in this, and it's just so sweet. Like, I really feel like the characters are so tender and love each other so well. Obviously, it's taking place largely in the stationery shop too, is a really interesting setting and angle to it. And if you haven't read this one, I think you would really enjoy it. I hear a lot of people kind of compare this to The Kite Runner. I have not read The Kite Runner, so I can't definitively say that, but tends to attract the same audiences. Next, we've got You With a View by Jessica Joyce. This is a book that I feel like was written for me. In this, a TikTok influencer tries to essentially track the journey that she takes to find her grandmother's lost love that she finds in an old picture after her grandmother passes away. And the man in the picture ends up being the grandfather of her like high school rival. And so they go on a road trip to basically recreate this trip that they were supposed to take for their honeymoon. And I have been on basically this exact road trip. It's through the southwestern US, so national parks in Utah, California, Arizona, all that. And it is just so sweet. I feel like it was made for me. It ended in Lake Tahoe, which is one of my favorite places in the world. It was where I was going to have my wedding. It was just such a fun book, and I think the banter and the relationship between Theo and Noelle is just so cute. And so loved this one. It was one of my top reads last year as well. This one's a bit of a departure from my usual book. This is Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. This is basically the epitome of rich people behaving badly, and it is so fun. I really didn't think I was going to like this one, but it was kind of Gossip Girl-esque with like some Gilmore Girls thrown into it, and I just had such a great time reading it. I think if you like season 6 of Gilmore Girls with the Huntsberger drama, this is your book. Yeah, I just had a really good time. Also, the narrator on the audio is fantastic. Next, we've got a classic, Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is my favorite Emily Henry even still. I think it's just incredible. I have so much in common with January that I feel like my soul is on the page. January and Gus's relationship has always really reminded me of mine and my husband's. Having that on paper, I feel like is so special. And because of that, it's going to be really hard for any other book, period, but really any other Emily Henry book to live up to this. Love Beach Read. Next, I've got Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This is the first in a very long series about Scotland, time travel. There's a show. I refused to watch the show until I finished the series. It's a very long book. There's a lot of pages and it's very small font, but so worth it. This took me a couple of months to read because I would only read like a chapter or two at a time. Literally so worth it. Next, this is a new to me book and author. I read this at the beginning of this year. This is P.S. I Hate You by Lauren O'Connelly, or sorry, just Lauren Connolly. This is also has themes of grief. I don't know why I tend to be attracted to books apparently with themes of grief. Maddie loses her brother, and her and his best friend are kind of tasked with carrying out the final wishes in his will, which involves going on a trip to a couple of different states to spread his ashes. As you might expect, his friend and her eventually fall in love. They get Twitter-pated, but this does delve into some very deep issues. I would be really careful reading this if you've lost someone recently, just because I think it's very raw, but so good. So, P.S. I Hate You. Next, we have Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is the first of a duology, which is now finished, actually. Rebel Witch came out in February, so you can read the whole thing at once, which, bless you, because I was dying with this cliffhanger for like a year. This is such a good book. It's like witchy fantasy with between a witch who's hiding her identity and a witch hunter. So, if you have not already heard about this one, I'm begging you to go pick it up. If you like enemies to lovers, like genuine enemies to lovers, kind of like a brothers love triangle-esque, like think Vampire Diaries, you will love this. It ends on a cliffhanger, so go ahead and get yourself a Rebel Witch 2 while you're out at the store. Next, I have my very favorite Catherine Center book, which is Happiness for Beginners. I love this book. This is a wilderness hiking book for a woman who's kind of just down in the dumps and wants to go find herself, and it's just really sweet, and I think this is another one where the romance is kind of secondary to her journey to self-discovery. I went on a backpacking trip multiple times when I was in college in Yosemite, and it just really reminded me of her journey, Helen's journey throughout this. There's also a movie which I have not seen, so maybe it's good. I don't know. It's on my list. And our last one for this particular video is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is another one that I was not expecting to like, but it was just so fun and silly, and it was set in Spain at a family reunion, and it's two like work rivals, and I just had such a great time reading it. If you have not read this one yet, I think honestly this is Elena Armas's best book, but I have liked every single thing that she's put out. Highly recommend. Okay, so there you have it, some of my all-time favorites. Thank you so much for coming and watching this video. If you're interested in seeing some of my other thoughts, please feel free to go through my channel. I would love it if you commented and let me know if you've read any of these, if you've loved them, what you would recommend for me based on these picks. And yeah, you can always find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or Substack. And I love to talk to my audience, so please let me know if you have a question, comment, recommendation, or you want to tell me that you think my taste sucks, whatever you want. I am all ears. Thank you so much for your time. If you made it all the way here, I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.